If you're looking for something to watch this weekend and can't find anything amongst all the thousands of streaming services we now have, I got you covered. Let's talk about it in this video. Welcome back to What You Should Watch This Weekend, where every week I spotlight one show, one movie, one anime, something that is going to be worth your time. We have so many places to pick from. Uh, there's so many streamers, so many other channels. Just there's a lot of stuff out there. So let me give you one thing that I have watched, I've enjoyed, that I think you will also definitely enjoy if you are a subscriber to this channel or if you ended up here. This week's pick is going to be Alien Earth. This is FX and Hulu's new sci fi horror series that is now streaming in full. The whole season one is all out. It's 8 episodes. So if you're into alien horror, dark sci fi, of world building with mysteries, I think this one is going to be for you. Now, a little bit of background. Alien Earth is created by Noah Hawley, who you may know from shows like Legion, Fargo, a lot of different things on FX. And it's the first TV series in the Alien franchise. The show itself is set in 2120, 2 years before the original Alien film, and it merges horror with sci-fi and a conspiracy. It dives deep into newer themes, including hybrid humans, synthetic beings, and an alien crash that turns everything upside down. Now, Ridley Scott is also attached as an executive producer of the series, and it really leans a lot into the lore while still looking to carve out new territory. Now, here is the setup. There won't be any spoilers beyond the first episode, just to really give you something to grab a hold of. In this series, a spaceship, the Magonaut, crashes on Earth, and the fallout uncovers threats far beyond what the survivors expected. The central character is Wendy, played by Sydney Chandler, who is the first hybrid, a human with a consciousness infused into a synthetic body created by the Prodigy Corporation. This is one of the new corporations that run this world. Wendy's brother, Hermit, played by Alex Lothar, is a tactical soldier and medic, and his reappearance add a lot of emotional stakes. We also see other characters, including one of my favorites, Kirsch, who is played by Timothy Oliphant, who you may know from things like Justified, Santa Clarita Diet, or Deadwood, a synthetic who helps train hybrids. And then we also have Boy Cavalier, the genius head of Prodigy Corporation, forcing the ethical questions of all these creations. We also meet Morrow, who is a security agent who works for Wayland Yutani, and it's very much tied to all these experiments. And you get to see what happened with the crash landing of the ship. In episode number one, called Neverland, we see how the crash shakes the foundations of control, Wendy's origins, her separation from her family, and the Mysterians' alien presence. These are all seated very early on in the episode. The show is very much a slow burn, but I think the tension itself does build rather quickly. You'll feel that unease. You'll feel that you know something big is coming. Now, why is this worth watching? Here's why you should add Alien Earth to your weekend watch list. First of all, we have an expansion of the Alien universe. This isn't just a retread, this aims to deepen the lore and the questions of synthetic and human boundaries and explore the consequences of playing God in this world. I think the show has a lot of really strong visuals, from the creature design to the new set pieces. It's really interesting to see Earth being the place where these creatures are, right? Normally, in most of the franchise, we've seen them on ships, on different planets, different stuff like that. So I think uh, the atmosphere that the show builds is very, very interesting. Now, what are some of the things that the show bases its themes around? The show really asks what makes someone human. What is the cost of immortality? Who gets to decide who lives or who is created? I think some of these are the kind of uh, threats that run all through the surface of this sci-fi show. Now, the cast is pretty layered. We have a lot of morally ambiguous characters. We also now have the hybrids, the corporate entities. Each of them kind of adds their own little weight, right? Look, as of the recording of this video, this show has a pretty high score from the critics, around 94% on Rotten Tomatoes. So it's definitely something that it's very well put together. And in the premiere, episode, creator Noah Hawley is directs and writes it himself. So you can tell that he's really going all out with this. As we meet Wendy, we see the damage of the crash. We begin to sense all the danger that is hanging overhead, not just for Wendy, but also for the people that are in that building that the ship crashed against. I think one of the things that stands out to me a little bit is the identity and control. Wendy's hybrid existence kind of forced you to ask, like, who's in the driver's seat? Is she a human? Is this consciousness? Does that make her an actual being? uh you know I think by the end there's going to be a lot more questions than answers, but that is kind of like what I like about sci-fi shows. There's also a lot about the corporate power versus ethics. I think very resonant theme in really just nowadays, but always really. The show positions Prodigy, Wayland Yutani, and these other monolithic forces with their own hidden agendas, right? I say that while wearing my own Wayland Yutani Corporation, building better worlds, I guess. Now, of course, we do have the alien horror. There are threats in the dark. We do see alien, not just the xenomorphs that we know, but we also see other types of alien that I think are really fun to dive into. Now, throughout this show, I think the one pushback I have heard, and this is from me going on to talk about this show with my friends over at Crew Expendable, I think if you are a deep lore fan of the Alien franchise, some of this stuff may not feel or be as novel. So I think, unfortunately, in this case for this show, the more you know and the bigger fan of Alien franchise you are, maybe you'll have more questions and you'll kind of poke more holes into it. But myself, as somebody that's only really seen the films and a little bit of the comics and a little bit of some of the other stuff. I've never read the books. I've never really played the video games. So I would consider myself a pretty casual Alien fan. I think this show really resonated with that. So I will leave this question for you, the audience. You can answer me in the comments. How far would you go to live forever? And what would you let others do in your name for that reason? So if you're hunting for something fresh and chilling this weekend, check out Alien Earth. All of season now is now out on FX, Hulu, Disney Plus, however you get your Hulu FX shows. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the bell, share your thoughts in the comments below. Also, let me know, what do you think of Wendy, the hybrids, and the direction the show goes. And make sure to stay tuned and even go back to check out our recommendation from last weekend. So, thank you very much, and please enjoy this show. Bye bye.